There's people here already. There we go. Hello, Devil Dog. Thank you for your service. You're the first here. Nathan's here. Ashley Ratcliffe's here. Hello, guys. Happy Memorial Day. Parade should be coming. It started in town at 10 o'clock. It'll make its way up to this cemetery, and then we'll go across the street for the ceremony. So stick around, guys. I want to thank everyone that has served some form of military. I want to thank my dad, his brother, my brother, Sergeant Laney here in town, Donnie Miracle, and the Purple Heart here in town. I'll keep naming off names as I know them or think about them. You see all these flags, though, all the way up and down through here? Every one of these flags is in memory of a soldier that has served here in town, passed away, given the total sacrifice either in battle or through life. So every one of these flags is a memorial symbol. I just want to tell all the soldiers out there, we appreciate you serving. I know a lot of people suffer right now. I know people have dark days that have served. I just want you to know that we do appreciate your service. This is what you serve for. It's this freedom here that we have. I'm not a veteran, but I am one of the people that you have fought for the freedom for, and I want you to know that we appreciate it. Ivy, Ivy Camelback Clothing, and Gladys, his wife, is also. Live, go ahead and say, you can say where you served if you'd like. Memory. You can comment there in the comment section. Memorial Day is all about a day to remember those that have served, to allow us to have these freedoms that we have in America, and make America as great as it is today. As firefighters come down to
Probably, yeah.
city, the Boy Scouts and the band and the fire trucks. We have a band. And
Yeah, we went to the
police.
so we went to the all the people see them. We used to see every year when I
It doesn't feel the same on it. He's cut himself and acted like he never. Like he doesn't know.
yeah, they still do it with that. Jumped around a little bit, but
That's cool, Ashley Ratcliffe. Little House on the Big Woods. Welcome, welcome. Beautiful day. Probably one of the best days we've had in a while. Temperature is stunning. It's a real rainy, humid, and hot and cold, back and forth. It's like summer, then spring, then spring we didn't even really have, and then summer came and went, and then spring came back for a couple days, and then spring came and went.
yeah.
My garden doesn't know what to do.
She's under the couch. She knows. Oh yes, yes. Actually, this is just like okay. But there's no consoling. Yeah.
Sure you like this stream, share it out. Break should be coming here in the next, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes maybe. They started at 10 o'clock in town. I thought they'd be out here by now, but it's not a very long distance.
Yeah.
We are just a village. Not a city or a town. It's
We
a
are
village. But it feels, yeah, huge. There's no real. Selling your house. But good luck finding one. Well, you can't pay a lot.
Yeah.
Might move down a little bit closer when they stop or turn. I think they go right up this drive. They stop right
I
off.
don't remember that one.
I might walk back this way.
Just the effect of the flags.
It looks amazing.
Yes, yes. We continue to go because of the sales, you know.
Well, Dad always used to talk like that.
Yes.
And then, which he may be, I don't know. He wasn't home when I stopped there and put the flag on.
Right.
I don't know where it's at.
Right.
And then we're doing a sighting job for Lang. He always led the parade before mine. He made a sergeant. He's got a pretty interesting story. A lot more than I have. There's a lot of people here in town. Yes. It's some great stories. Right there. We take it. That's good. Everybody loved it. Here, it's at the sham all day long. Doesn't chew anything. Every once in a while, it's and stuff. Put teeth marks in it, so it doesn't chew it all up. Let us know you got it. Like, that's I don't know. Yeah, but he'll be laying or chew it. He has his own toy. You bring his toy to my boots or whatever. Chew them on top of my boots. I'm like, oh, you're fine with that. You continue to do that. As long as you don't chew my boots or shoes, you know? He's great.
That is
Yeah.
Of course, I had only been like, you know,
Oh, boy.
I don't.
Hazel, the golden doodle, she'll get my socks and she's cold.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Yeah, have my socks out and my toes sticks out. Especially if I gotta go in somewhere and I wear one.
Right.
It's not me. I buy socks all the time, but if I leave them on the floor, they will chew them.
Yes. Oh, dear.
Oh, I can hear the band now.
Yeah.
All right, guys, share this out. Judy Mae Collins, welcome, welcome. Share this out on your page, guys. We got the parade coming now. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna make our way just a little bit closer. That way, if they stop down here, we can see everything. And we'll walk across the street to the ceremony, guys. I thank all of our vets, anyone active or retired. Appreciate it. See it? Hello, Eric.
Hey, Jeff.
Doing well. I'm fat and I'm sassy. Fat and sassy.
That's okay.
It's a good way to be, right? Photos or trying to get stuff every day.
Yeah. Next, please. Good, man.
Morning, Belly Duck. Got Memorial Day parade going on. All right, we're gonna move our way across.
I'm going to ask that you please silence your cell phone. There is water floating around the room. I'm going to ask you to please stand for the national anthem. Now I'd like to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. My name is Larry Scranton. I'm currently the commander of the American Legion, Edward C. Smart, Post 223 in Hicksville. I would like to say just a few words about Memorial Day. Although there's a lot of different versions of how Memorial Day got started, the most common story is that after the Civil War, grieving families from both North and South began decorating graves of their lost soldiers with flowers and wreaths. In one city in Mississippi, people decorated the graves of both the Union and Confederate troops. Out of respect for the families for the Union soldiers, and with the hope that someone would do the same for their lost ones in the North. These informal honors led to the first Memorial Day observance in Waterloo, New York on May 5th, 1866. Congress officially recognized Memorial Day as a national holiday in 1887. Since then, with each passing year and consequent conflict, we've continued to honor our fallen comrades. We have awarded medals to many soldiers, added their names to monuments, named buildings after them to honor them for their bravery. But nothing can ever replace the hole left behind by fallen service members, and no number of medals and ribbons can comfort the ones left behind. At this time, I'd like all the service members, past and current, to please raise their hand. Thank you. Now I'd like the family members of any service member to raise their hands. We know you have lived through difficult times and often taken the heavy load. Keep the home fire. Be thankful for what you've also done. Family members, please raise your hand. Thank you. Today, people throughout the country will gather together to remember, to honor, and to pay tribute to those who served our country. Our gathering is just one small spark in the flame of pride that burns across this nation today and every day. It's not a lot, but it's one small way that we can honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice and gave their lives so that we can live in freedom. Your presence here today and that of the people gathering all across America is a tribute to those lost troops and to their families. It is a way to say, we remember. From the soldiers who shivered and starved through the winters of Valley Forge, to the doughboys crouched in muddy trenches in France, to platoons who fought in the jungles of Vietnam, to young men and women who patrolled the mountains of Afghanistan. We do thank them. As commander of the American Legion, it is my honor and privilege to officiate military funerals for veterans. And during those funerals, I recite these words, and I'd like to share them with you today. We come today to honor the memory of a fallen comrade who offered life and service for God and country. Proudly, we remember their service. Because of them, our lives are free. Because of them, our nation lives. Because of them, the world is blessed. May today's ceremony deepen our reverence for these honored comrades and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, let us pledge ourselves anew to united service, to comradeship, to mutual helpfulness, to the nation, to our communities, and to each other. We realize how few mere words are to express our deep and abiding sympathy for those who have lost loved ones. But surely there is an afterlife for all who have been loyal and true, a life to which light and peace shall come, where the burden shall be lifted and heartaches shall cease, where the love, the hope, and the fulfillment that escapes us here shall be given to us to be ours forever. Again, thank you for attending today. God bless you and your families. God bless our troops, and God bless America. Chaplain will now lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty and merciful God, Father of all, amidst these monuments of the dead, we see thy hand. In the depth of our sorrow, we realize the truth of the inspired words. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. As comrade after comrade departs, we march on with ranks grown thinner. Help us to be faithful unto thee and to one another. We beseech thee, look in mercy upon all of us here assembled, and with thine own tenderness console and comfort those bereaved by the hand of death. Heavenly Father, bless our country with freedom, peace, and righteousness, and may we all meet at last before thine throne of grace in heaven, and to thy great name shall we praise forever and ever. Amen.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Roger Zedike. Roger lives about 4 miles east of Hicksville with his wife, Lois. They have 4 children and 12 grandchildren. Roger is a lifelong member of the VFW, a life member of the American Legion, and the Disabled American Veterans. Roger served in the military infantry in Vietnam as a paratrooper with Company 506 101st Airborne. He received the Bronze Star Medal, the Army Commendation with V device for bravery. He received a Purple Heart for wounds in combat and many other awards. I now present Roger Zedike.
to reiterate what Larry said. Thank you for coming today. It means a lot. I did tell Pat King, remember I'm a farmer, not a speaker. But I am honored and humbled to speak to you today. I never miss an opportunity to talk about veterans, especially those that gave that supreme sacrifice. We are here today to mourn, not to mourn those that have served and gave that sacrifice to you and I, but we're here to honor them for the freedom they have given us. A brief summary of my military experience. At 18 years old, I did 8 weeks of basic training, then 8 weeks of training as an infantry paratrooper, then 5 weeks of jump school at Fort Benning, Georgia. I made 5 jumps to earn my silver wings as a paratrooper. But at 19 years old, I was sent to Vietnam with some of the best, the elite 101st Airborne Division in the infantry. Only 10% of the troops that served in Vietnam served in the infantry. Over 58,000 men and 8 women were killed in Vietnam. But the wounded and the dying did not end there in Vietnam. 3 good friends of mine, all 3 from my squad. Ed Morris died at age 52, Agent Orange. Ed Pittman, 62, Agent Orange. Phil Wright, my assistant gunner, who was wounded the same day as I was, committed suicide at 53 years old. He never got over Vietnam. I was a pallbearer and a speaker at his funeral, but war has a long tail, physically and mentally. Am I a hero? Not at all. But we're going to talk about some heroes today. Memorial Day is a day to remember the brave young men and women who have given their lives in service to our country. May we also, though, remember the families who have sacrificed their loved ones. We have lots of families right here in Hicksville who have sacrificed their son. You see, when you join the military, you sign a blank check on your life to the military to cash whenever needed. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of blank checks that were cashed. Today, though, I want to talk about heroes and valor. I'm a life member of the Sherwood VFW, named after John Fay, post in Sherwood. For over 50 years, I've been a member. But until a few years ago, I did not know who John Fay was. What a shame. You will not leave here today without knowing who John Fay was and what a sacrifice he and his family made for freedom here in World War II. John Fay was a local boy who graduated from the old Delaware High School near Sherwood and then enlisted in the Navy on October 31st, 1940. 2 years later, while serving aboard the USS Meredith during World War II, he met his dark fate. What kind of a person would we be if we did not talk about John today and these young sailors? You see, a hero remembered never dies. There is a book written, Shipmates Forever, written about the courageous young men who served on the USS Meredith. I'm going to quote some of the book today, written by the survivors of that ship, detailing the 4 days of terror and suffering these gallant young men endured. During the morning of October 15th, 1942, the Meredith was escorting a convoy of freighters to Guadalcanal when it was attacked by Japanese enemy aircraft. The crew on the Meredith fought their attackers, still firing their guns while knee-deep in water before the ship sank. Of the 329 men aboard the Meredith, only 97 survived the attack in the ensuing days of the exposure to the open seas and the sharks. Most of these men were 19 to 22 years of age. In less than 5 minutes, the Japanese planes shredded the ship and sent it to the bottom of the sea. Still, the planes continued to spray machine gun fire on the survivors who were swimming in the oily water. With the fuel burning on the water around them, the survivors managed to find the 6 rafts that were from the ship. The most severely wounded were loaded into the rafts. The others firmly held on to the edges. Some tore their shirt sleeves off and tied themselves to the rafts. Little did they know, though, what was ahead of them. Hundreds of miles from nowhere and no one, and nothing but the hardships of the sea had to offer. The flaming sun shining against the water burned and blistered their face and body. Sunset would bring welcome relief to their agony. Then came the realization that sunset meant they would face a night of horror. All around, shipmates were dying and silently disappearing from the rafts. Wounded were moaning and pleading for comfort. Soon the sharks moved in and began attacking the swimmers. During the night, more wounded on the rafts died. Their life jackets were removed, and the young seaman was sadly let go. Then another wounded seaman would take his place on the raft. These unselfish young men were continually helping each other, risking sometimes their own lives. Day 2, a raft that started out with almost 40 survivors clinging to it had only 11 remaining. Night 2, more deaths and darkness. Day 3 brought more of the same. Still trying to hang on and hoping for rescue. Some men lost their grip on the raft and drifted silently away, never awaking from the stupor induced by sheer exhaustion. Some men suffering from hallucinations were swimming alone. Night 3. As night fell on night 3, rescue seemed remote. The night seemed long and endless, broken only by the moans of the wounded and delirious. Then sudden realization of another young shipmate having disappeared from the raft. Men prayed. Hardened seamen who hadn't prayed since childhood recalled almost forgotten words from their childhood prayer of, "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep." As they spoke unashamed, they turned their eyes heavenward. Day 4 began with more of the blistering sun, but with reddened eyes already swollen from the sun and the oil, the exhausted and oil-coated survivors noticed a spotter plane overhead. It flashed its lights and tipped its wings to indicate rescue was on its way. No, the young John Fay from Sherwood, Ohio, was not one of those pitiful-looking survivors rescued that day. But the family and community can be proud to say he was one of ours. You see, John Fay gave his young life for you and I, giving and not asking for anything in return. You see, John Fay's check was cashed that day. But John is not forgotten. The VFW in Sherwood's named after him, and he has a niece named Meredith, so he's not forgotten. I read about a veteran one day who had parked his car at a local mall. The license plate on his car proclaimed that he was a disabled veteran. When he returned to his car, he found these words written on a piece of scrap paper and stuck on his windshield. Although the author did not leave his name, I hope this sentiment is felt by many Americans. This is what it read. To the veterans of wartime and peacetime of the United States of America, thank you. Thank you for your service yesterday, today, and tomorrow. You are not forgotten by those of us who treasure our freedoms. Your sacrifice and that of your loved ones is still very much appreciated. Now will all veterans here today please raise your hand. I know you're very humble, but keep it raised, would you please? In this country, some of the heroes in our United States are pro athletes and making too much money, and sometimes don't know how to act or stand for the national anthem. You see, our heroes are right here in our own community. Please give them a hand. Let us not leave here today with sadness, but with pride. Proud of our hometown heroes and our small town patriotism. In closing, I'd like to read history. It is vital that we preserve the stories of sorrow and pride from every veteran, particularly those who gave the supreme sacrifice. The sacrifices of our noble veterans must never be forgotten. This nation must remain eternally grateful. We cannot expect future generations, though, to fully understand what these veterans saw and experienced in battle. But folks, we can certainly teach our children and grandchildren enough to say thank you to a veteran. May God bless each and every one of you today. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Roger. At this time, we're going to do the presentations of the wreaths and flowers. And we're going to start off with Bob Myers Sr. Next, we have the Eagles.
Each Memorial Day, we strive to bring into this community the very spirit of the services held at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. We do not know the imminence of his birth, but we do know the glory of his death. So, granted walls guard eternally the body of the patriot who served and died. Whether he was Catholic, Protestant, or Jew, native born or adopted son is not of record. Whether he come from a humble home or one of wealth, a place where inland rivers flow, or from where an ocean lays, no one knows. But each mother whose son's name is marked on our country's roster, place of burial unknown, may with equal justice claim as her own the patriot who sleeps in the sacred tomb. Every mother who gave a life for the flag has a right to share in the glory that hallows its mausoleum. Every woman, every person who heart that claims the patriot to be there, is ever mindful of the sacrifice. Let us live highly resolved that our dead shall not have died in vain.
We'll now have the chief of police and the fire department. Now, if we could have the Boy Scout and Girl Scouts. That concludes our service. And again, thank you for coming out, and please never forget. Thank you.
What are you guys doing? Huh? You being Haven over here?
Still whining, probably for you, but
Where else we need to
you
go?
did good when the shots went off. I
Thanks
backed up.
everyone for coming. Thank you, vets.
Thank you. Peace, y'all.